Discover how to leverage AI agents for your property business in today's episode with Matthew White. Matthew White is the founder and CEO of Keybot and Platypus OS. And he took his learnings of simplifying SaaS at Keybot into the AI space with Platypus OS and AI, building a full AI assistant and AI agent marketplace that can work across any app or website. So Matthew, please tell us, how can entrepreneurs leverage AI agents for the property business?
AI Superwoman podcast with Lily Patrascu shares the world's most innovative AI tools and processes to go from technophobe to AI pro, attract leads, close sales, automate your business, enhance productivity, and deploy AI agents to do your work.
Yeah, it's a great question. So I have a lot of family that works in the real estate industry, and we're starting to see pretty heavily that AI is able to do a lot of things that you typically were having to pay, employees to do, or you're having to set up and do yourself. It's taking a lot of time of going out and doing your actual work, which costs you money or costs you opportunities if you're not out, showing more homes, whatever that might be. What we're finding is with AI, there's a lot of really cool new systems that are coming out. We're, in these marketplaces, one specific for these kinds of property industries or real estate agents is we're finding really neat systems where AI has the ability to very quickly capture and compute information in kind of a real time. So one of the ways we think about this is like for real estate, if you're using an MLS system, right, to pull in new homes that are coming on the market, if you were able to use AI to scrape and pull those on a daily basis, and then you had a database full of all your prospective customers or clients with all of their different, what their needs are, whatever, how many bedrooms they need, how many, what neighborhoods they want to live in, all that kind of stuff. AI could actually automatically start to pair those up on a daily basis for you, and then automatically do things like send a text message or send email marketing or send that house to these people from you. So it automates a lot of that kind of manual process that a lot of real estate agents spend a lot of time doing on a daily basis, so that you can not only get these houses in front of the people that want them quicker than your competitors can, but also you're not spending all that time doing that, right? So you can actually be out on the road, be out showing homes, being out prospecting, that kind of thing. So I think there's a huge opportunity coming to really drive down costs and drive up efficiency with these kinds of AI agents, especially for that industry.
Thank you. What are the names of these AI agents that you would use? Like, how would you get hold of these?
Yeah, I don't know any off the top of my head right now. I know that if you go into any of the big marketplaces, you're going to find a number of these kinds of applications in there. We have people that are building them right now for our own AI system, and they're popping up pretty fast. So what we're seeing is the industry as a whole, when it comes to AI agents, is going crazy. There's 500, 1,000 new AI agents that are being launched on a daily basis. So it's becoming very crowded, but if you do the right research, you'll be able to find a number of tools and specific to kind of your needs that are going to be able to work for what you need.
Thank you. Tell us some other AI agents and what they can be used for in order to optimize your property business.
Yeah, so when it comes to kind of how you would optimize your daily activity, right? So what I see is, again, the people that I know that work in real estate, they just spend a lot of their time on the day-to-day operations of their business, right? And that's again, time that they don't have either out showing homes, out showing properties. It's also time it's expense that they might have on people that they need to have in the office, just kind of typing in information and pairing people up and making the calls. I think that's one of the big things too, is we're going to be able to, with the AI systems now that can actually hold full conversations, you're going to have people be able to start doing AI be able to start doing prospecting for you. Or when you get, requests in from somebody that, they want to know more information about a home, you could automate that whole process. Chat bots where somebody's like, oh, I want to look at the home, 256 Claymore Street, right? You can have AI actually respond to that person and do a full chat back and forth with them where they can give them all the information and then book a time on your calendar. So you don't even know what's going on. You just all of a sudden have a prospective customer that is in your calendar that wants to look at this home, and AI just schedules the whole thing for you. So you just kind of show up where you need and close business. I think that's going to be a huge other opportunity, is just letting that run in the background, run your leads and your lead management for you, and you just kind of do the work that you love. I think that's what's exciting.
Thank you. How can AI agents help you get rid of time wasters when in your property business?
Yeah, again, I think going back to just that daily time spent. One of the things we think about too is a lot of times when you're using like a CRM, right, for how you are managing your prospects, pulling them through your lead process. One of the cool things that we're working on with Platypus OS and AI is being able to interact with your tools, like your CRM or things like that, via the AI, instead of having to go in and type in or move somebody. So let's say you just met with a prospective client. They're interested in the home you just saw. You can actually, through a system like this, text into your CRM, move John Johnson from prospecting to interested. And then it would just take care of it for you. And you can automate, emails that will go out to that person for that, or reminders and all that kind of stuff, or notify people on the team, maybe the mortgage brokers, that this is starting to happen. So you can, a lot of it comes with automation, being able to just automate the simple tasks that you do on a daily basis, so that you can actually, again, you're not making money when you're sitting on a computer typing things into data fields, right? You're making money when you're out on the road, and that's what we can help do, and that's what AI is going to help do, is give you all that time back to be out there selling more, showing more, and then not spending the money on actual people having to do it.
Thank you. What about actually time wasters? What I mean by that is people that don't have the money to buy your property or to rent out your property, and they're just like fishing. How can AI agents help you to eliminate those time wasters so you can focus on people that have money to purchase property or to rent your property?
Oh, that's a great question. So one of the cool things I've seen with AI lately is, again, kind of the communication tool that it has, where it can actually chat or even talk to somebody back and forth for you. What you can do there is you can front load the questions. I'm assuming, when a normal real estate agent gets on the phone with somebody, within the first few minutes, little time, they typically have the information when they need, of whether this is just somebody fishing and wants to like see houses, or if somebody is, really prospective for a buy. That can all happen via AI. So AI can have those conversations, ask the right questions to get to that next part. And then simply, if they're not qualified for you, they can kind of push them into a different, bucket for you. Or if they are qualified and there's somebody that the AI thinks, because of all the systems you've built. And this is where AI agents come in too, is AI agents, developers of AI agents could come in and fine tune that for you to say, okay, here are the things that stand out for people that are buying. And they can use that to just then push those leads that are hot, or that they think is going to be a purchaser or a seller, into your actual lead process, instead of, again, wasting the time on the people that just aren't going to sell anything or buy anything.
Thank you. How can AI agents help you reduce admin, aside from what you've just said? How can they help you reduce admin tasks?
Yeah, I think a big thing, again, is automation. Let's say you have somebody that sits in your office and takes phone calls and manages your schedule. So if something comes in and they want to put it on your calendar, they'll manually do that. So there's a lot of steps that you'll have somebody administratively doing in your office, filing things and making sure you're moving things through your lead funnels, taking those support questions that might come through. If people want to know more about a house, or if there's an issue with, the financing process as you're going through the process, AI can automate pretty much all of that. And again, since it's smart enough these days to actually work in a way where it's communicating back and forth and can reason what's happening based on whatever protocols you give it, it's going to be able to, eliminate a lot of the kind of back office staff that you would need to do a lot of that, which is going to just, AI versus a salary is going to be a much lower cost. And I think that's where you're going to find a lot of cost savings as well, with kind of AI taking those admin jobs and admin roles.
Thank you. For property management businesses, how can AI agents be leveraged to reduce time spent? So I think one of the largest times that are spent are either first viewing Second, dealing with tenants, especially when you have a multi, like an HMO, a house is a multiple occupation, you will get more maintenance requests, and then having to manage the workers that kind of go to repair, and then paying them, and then also informing the tenants thereafter that the solution has been given. How can AI agents help to reduce some of those things?
Yeah, so one of the ways I think about it is the AI agent's going to be able to take out kind of the middleman between the person, the resident that has an issue, has a question, all that kind of stuff, and the maintenance person that's going to go out and actually do the work. So we are seeing right now AI agents that are connected into your entire like scheduling system, so that when somebody calls in or somebody sends in a request, hey, I've got a burst pipe, let's say, right? They can understand what that means and what needs to be done there. They can then send it through your scheduling system and say, all right, depending on the how immediate that response is going to need, right? If it's a burst pipe, probably need somebody there right now, versus there's a leaky faucet, we can probably get that in 3 days. It's going to be able to understand the severity there. It's going to be able to say, okay, this is what needs to happen. And then it's smart enough, if it has access to schedules of your maintenance team, it's going to be smart enough to understand where they should be scheduling people, if they need to like reroute people into other places. And then from there, it can also communicate with your residents to say, all right, resident A that has the burst pipe, we're going to have somebody there in 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it might be. And then the other person, let's say they had to reschedule somebody to get that person, they can automatically send messages to them too, saying, hey, guess what? This is all, we had to reroute something. They're going to be there tomorrow instead of today. And the cool thing about that is the time that it will take. So if you had a person doing all that, scheduling, moving, that's going to take an hour for a person to be able to do all that. This could happen in AI within a minute. Honestly, like AI is going to just speed up that whole process and automate it to save a lot of money kind of in that whole management side of the business as well.
Thank you. Now, what I find is that when you have a property management business, what tends to slow the things down is that you're waiting for a reply. So you're waiting for a reply from, let's say, okay, you have either got to let the tenants know, okay, there's a guy who might be coming tomorrow, and then are you guys okay with that? If it's coming, if this guy is coming at 5, and then you have to, figure out, can the guy come at 5, or the other way around, like you have to figure out which you're going to do first, you need permission from. So how would this work in this scenario to get the agents to kind of get the entire process to be seamless? Because I would say, for example, I have a property business and I've been running it for 14 years, and I've never really been able to automate it, but I have been able to do it, relatively easier through WhatsApp. I just communicate through WhatsApp with my tenants. Yeah. But when I had like a big portfolio, I did find that it was taking all day to manage that. And also the repairman, the handyman tend to be not so reliable in the sense of like knowing when they can actually come, and they don't have like a scheduler. They tend to be more like the kind of people that, they repair, something, and then they go to another house. So it's all a bit random about like, okay, when they can actually come. But I guess maybe other businesses tend to be more organized than mine, and maybe they will be able to leverage AI agents better.
There's always going to be issues with response, right? If you look at, a resident sends a request in, and then you respond to them, hey, what time can we have somebody come in, right? And if they don't respond to you for 3 hours, there's nothing you're going to be able to do there, right? I would say a lot of times if somebody really needs something, they're probably hopefully going to get back to you soon. Again, you might know that better than I do. But I think one of the things that will happen is an AI system. Let's say you're one person trying to handle 5 calls coming in for requests, right? You're not going to be able to do that all at once. You're going to have to take it step by step. Okay, client 1, client 2, client 3. AI can do it simultaneously, right? So they could say, they could have 5 requests come in, and they're just going to do all 5 requests simultaneously. And let's say you have 5 potential maintenance people working on different things, they're going to be able to request them simultaneously as well. So the speed in which kind of the middleman part is happening is going to be a lot more efficient. So you'll be able to get the messaging and get the scheduling out a lot faster, which might make customers happy. If you're, if they're sending us a request for a burst pipe and they're not hearing back for an hour, that's not making them very happy. But with AI, it's going to be almost immediate, right? So they're going to get responses back really fast, and the maintenance people are going to get requests in a much more timely manner. So hopefully that can kind of speed up the process of it.
Thank you. How do you leverage AI agents for issues that are, property management issues where, like, for example, the thing that tends to happen most often is that, let's say, a customer reports an issue, like a tenant, and then actually nothing needs to be done at all because all they need to do is something really tiny sometimes. And it's just a matter of like accessing your brain, like, oh, have you thought about, pressing this or turning this button? Or sometimes it's really something tiny that no handyman has to come at all.
Sure.
How can AI agents help you to systemize the process where, let's say the customer comes up with, we have this issue, I can't, I don't know, whatever problem they have, and then they can self-solve their problems in the way that I would kind of like guide them to do it.
Yeah, sure. It's all about the programming, right? It's all about the fine tuning of the AI. If you had, let's say you had a list of resources on how to fix minor problems in your home, you could give basically just the AI a link to that information. And when a request comes in for how do I change a light bulb, let's say, that's just for an example, right? The AI could be like, oh, that is, and you could program it to be like keywords saying, okay, light bulb change. Oh, that's a self-service kind of problem here. And it can it could even step by step walk you through the process and chat with you and say, okay, screw the light bulb counterclockwise, screw the new one clockwise, or it could send you videos saying, oh, you need to change your light bulb. Here's a quick video on how to do that. Let us know if you have any questions or issues with that. So I think that's one of the cool things is, well, you don't have to sit there on the phone and talk to them and do that. The AI can do that. And again, it just has to be tuned to a point where it understands, okay, what is a self-service and what is we need to call maintenance for. And there's definitely going to be companies out there building these AI agents that know that industry and are going to know very well what is what and be able to have it fine-tuned right from the bat.
Thank you. For AI agents that can take inbound and outbound calls related to your property business,
sure,
what information needs to be given to them in order to make sure that the call is a good experience for the customer?
I think when setting it up, you just kind of need to make sure that you build in kind of like an empathy, I think, with the AI agent itself. And a lot of them are doing that already, but it's about finding the right model and fine tuning it to say, there's a lot of things that you do in the background of these AI models. There's like temperatures, you said it. If you're saying it's like a 1, it's very like, here, do this, don't do this. Where you said like a 7 is very conversational, right? The temperature to 7 says, oh, I'm going to have a conversation with you. I'm going to be a support module for you. And I think just doing those types of things are going to help a lot with just kind of the communication process where it doesn't feel like you're talking to a robot. It feels like you're talking to somebody who cares. And it's strange, but like AI is good enough these days that it can actually do those types of things where people can say, oh, I'm not even sure if I'm talking to a robot or somebody live. But I also think it's important to be able to, when those AI agents get caught somewhere, there's going to be times where it's like, it can't solve the problem, be able to transition it quickly into a human that can solve that problem for them. So while it's going to take care of, let's say 90% of all the problems and questions you have a really good setup process where the AI can get a hold of the person in charge to be able to answer a question that it just isn't able to. So I think that's going to be important to make sure that you have somebody that can take those calls when necessary.
Thank you. For those property management business that are continuously seeking for new landlords, how can AI agents help them to find new landlords that are ready to give their property for management?
Oh, that's interesting. So I mean, a big way this can work is it's the same way that real estate agents like find properties that could possibly be for sale, right? And they email or they send mailers to those people. They can use that same kind of thing. The data is out there about who owns these homes. They can say, okay, look, this is somebody that is possibly renting this house. I can see it's a rental. I can see who owns it. And then AI can start to go find the contact information for those a lot cleaner and a lot faster than a human can. And then if you program it correctly, you can automate emails to go out. If you have a mailer system that like you're connected with, automate it to create the mailers for you. You can create the content and send that out. And then even, make a phone call to say, hey, we think that you might be interested in somebody to manage this property for you or to purchase this property off of you so that we can turn it into a rental property, those types of things. But AI is going to be able to automate a lot of that stuff. So I think that's where it's going to be able to come in and really kind of help that industry. Just again, more efficiency so that you can close more business, close more deals.
Thank you. Tell us something that I have missed around AI agents that you would like property entrepreneurs to know about, like what else that they can use AI agents for.
Yeah, I think it's evolving so fast, right? So 2 years ago, everything I've said pretty much wasn't possible, and now it is, and it's growing really, really quickly. I think one of the big things again that we're focused on with Platypus OS and Platypus AI is making sure that the tools that you have now, I think there's going to be a dramatic change in the future on how you interact with SaaS tools, the software you use to run and manage your business. I think there's going to be a big transition in the future of being able to interact with all of that via AI instead of actually going and typing things into your CRM or all that kind of stuff. So I think that's where it's going to be a big transition, and it's going to make everybody a lot more efficient and a lot more productive, being able to be on the road and then talking to your AI to say, hey, change this person's phone number. Hey, change this person from prospecting into close. Things like that. And I think that's where a lot of people that maybe are kind of sort of using the software and technology they need to run their business are going to be able to use it a lot more effectively while they're on the road, while they're out there, doing whatever they're doing instead of having to be sitting in front of a computer. But I think that's going to change the market in a huge way.
Thank you. Where would you hold the information of, let's say currently you have a CRM, like a basic CRM, like Aweber, like I have, where you keep the information of people. And then let's say that their status has changed from, let's say, prospect to, closed, first house or whatever other formula you want to use. Sorry, if you wanted to start using AI agents, where would you hold this information? And how would you use the AI agents in order to kind of change the status of people that have purchased a home or have changed status?
Yeah, great question. So one of the big ways that we're doing it right now is we are focusing on the front end of these applications. So you can still use your technology, your software that you have, your CRM, you said Aweber. Yes. Our software or our AI can work on the front end of those websites. So basically it's going to operate just as if it was you in front of the computer. So, let's say you want to move John Johnson from prospecting into interested. So you would go in, you would, go to the search bar in your CRM, type in Joe Johnson, you'd open him up, you would move him from one to the other. Our AI can do that. Our AI can do that for you on the front end of your application. So you can leave your data and everything where it is right now within those CRMs, and then be able to prompt it from anywhere. So instead of having to get back and have a list of all your different customers you talked to today and just manually entering all those in, you could be in the road to your next appointment and say, hey, do this real fast, and it will do it in the background for you. I think that's what's cool is AI is being able to really effectively use the front end of these applications to be able to do things on your behalf. And that's going to simplify just those SaaS tools a lot. I think the future is kind of different, where it's going to be more just database driven, where you just, have AI interact into that. But for now, I think using AI to actually interact with your tools you're already using is what's going to be a big game changer.
Thank you. Regarding creating contracts with AI agents, how would you systemize the process, and what tools would you use for that?
Yeah, so that's going to be an interesting one, because each contract and each industry is going to be, quite a bit different when it comes to what is necessary. I would say for most real estate interactions that I've ever had, the contracts and the agreements are fairly templatized, right? So there's not a lot. You just change the basic things to the property of the what's being bought or sold. I think it's going to be pretty simple for AI to be able to manage that for you, where you could even just, prompt in, hey, create a contact for John Johnson at this address. Here's the price. Here's the down payment, whatever it might be. And then it'll take all that. It'll ingest it. It will fill out your contracts for you and automatically send it off. And then you can set up checks through the AI too to make sure that, everything is looking good, or if things need to change specific to a contract. It can write this stuff pretty well. So you could even say, if you have a template of a format or a template of a contract and they need one specific thing put in, you could even be like, I need you to add a clause that blah, 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 to this contract. AI is going to be able to do that. And you may be, the first couple times you may want it to send it to you first for just a draft to look at. But for the most part, as long as it's tuned to your industry, it's going to probably be able to run this pretty well.
Thank you. Tell us where entrepreneurs can find you.
So they can email me at Matt, M-A-T-T, at platypusos.com. So it's platypus, just like the animal, and then os.com.
Follow me for more AI productivity tools.